This past Sunday, we were blessed to share two renditions of the hymn, It Is Well With My Soul, both a flute duet and a piano solo, which were stirring and moving musical pieces that reminded us of God's presence and God's love, even through the storms of our lives. For our midweek devotion this week, I wanted to share with you the story behind the song. Horatio G. Spafford was a successful lawyer and businessman in Chicago, where he resided with his family, his wife Anna, and their 5 children. However, they were no strangers to tears and tragedy. Their young son died from pneumonia in 1871, and that same year they lost much of their business in the Great Chicago Fire. On November 21st, 1873, a French ocean liner was crossing the Atlantic from the U.S. to Europe with 313 passengers on board. Among the passengers were Mrs. Spafford and their 4 daughters. Although Mr. Spafford had planned to go with his family, he found it necessary to stay in Chicago to help solve an unexpected business problem. He told his wife he would join them in Europe a few days later. About 4 days into the crossing of the Atlantic, their ship collided with a powerful iron-hulled Scottish ship. Suddenly, all of those on board were in grave danger. Anna hurriedly brought her 4 children to the deck. She knelt there with Annie, Margaret Lee, Bessie, and Tanetta, and prayed that God would spare them, if that could be God's will, or to make them willing to endure whatever awaited them. Within approximately 12 minutes, the ship slipped beneath the dark waters of the Atlantic, carrying with it 226 of the passengers, including the Spafford children. A sailor rowing a small boat over the spot where the ship went down spotted a woman floating on a piece of wreckage. It was Anna, still alive. He pulled her into the boat, and they were picked up by another large vessel, which 9 days later landed them in Wales. From there, she wired her husband a message which began, "Saved alone. What shall I do?" Mr. Spafford later framed the telegram and placed it in his office. Another of the ship's survivors, Pastor Weiss, later recalled Anna saying, "God gave me 4 daughters. Now they have been taken from me. Someday I will understand." Mr. Spafford booked passage on the next available ship and left to join his grieving wife. With the ship about 4 days out, the captain called Spafford to his cabin and told him they were over the place where his children went down. According to Bertha Spafford Vester, a daughter born after the tragedy, Spafford wrote, "It is well with my soul," while on this journey. Anna gave birth to 3 more children, one of which died at age 4 with pneumonia. In August 1881, the Spaffords moved to Jerusalem. Mr. Spafford died and is buried in that city. I now invite you to listen to the 2 renditions of It Is Well With My Soul. Recently, I read online these words from a woman who, too, is well acquainted with tears and tragedy. She said, "Sometimes it is not well with my head, and it is not well with my heart, but it is well with my soul." As you journey through these difficult days of COVID and making difficult decisions about when and if you can see your family and friends, I invite you to let those words rest in your soul. Know that it's okay if things don't rest well in your head, if they are not well in your heart. But with God, through the love of Jesus, it can be well with our soul.